Good morning, my fellow Americans. Senate Mean Girls Graham and McCain on the offensive, pro-robot cabinet appointees, Russian to know who knew what and when, and tough times for sorry Spice in today's Daily Trump Damage Report. Here's all the god-awful Trump news for February 15th, 2017. Tear off the surface of our republic and discover that it is the strength of three women who protect it at the core. They are Justice, who is blind but wields a sword, Liberty, who is silent but holds a torch of freedom, and the old gray lady holding a pen. Do not underestimate her pen. The old gray lady reports in an extensive piece late last night that the Trump campaign aides had repeated contacts with Russian intelligence agents. For those of you that don't know, the old gray lady is the New York Times. Representative Seth Moulton, Democrat out of Massachusetts, reminds us that conspiring with Russia is the very definition of treason, in case the hollow GOP suits in Congress had forgotten. The fierce, incomparable Senator Miss Lindsey Graham tells us that any Trump ally working inappropriately with Russia needs to pay a price. The other half of the Senate Mean Girls troupe, John McCain, tells us that Trader Flynn debacle demonstrates a complete dysfunction at the White House. Trump's mouthpiece of the moment, Spicy Boy, maintains that Trump was told weeks ago that Pence was being lied to about the Trader Flynn. This is either a lie or clear implication that Trump either does not care that his NSA advisor was colluding with Russians, or does not care that his NSA advisor was lying to his vice president. The Washington Post reports a record number of poor kids are able to eat breakfast at school, primarily due to a program called the Community Eligibility Provision. Congressional Republicans despise the program because it denies the 27 million kids who get to eat breakfast a lesson about how hunger builds character. The GOP is expected to gut this and other helpful programs later this year, and Trump is committed to sign anything placed in front of him without reading it. Trump has begun laying the groundwork for a massive nationwide voter intimidation program. The stated intent will be to weed out non-existent voter fraud. The result will be disqualifying certain individuals who meet certain criteria, wink wink, from being able to vote. The first round of this effort is set to be a major investigation into the problem of voter fraud. House Republicans have asserted that they will not be investigating the Trader Flynn and his conversations with Trump on the subject of Russia and lifting the sanctions placed on them after it was discovered they had meddled in our national elections. The excuse provided is that Trump is shielded from investigation due to executive privilege, which is really great news for President Bill Clinton in the year 1998. Dan Rather informs us that the scandal surrounding the Trader Flynn is bigger than Watergate. Watergate was about breaking and entering, and the secret recordings Nixon took while in office. Flynn and other members of the Trump administration may have colluded with Russian intelligence agents to influence the government of the United States on issues of national security. We agree with Mr. Rather. Holder of the last dying whispers of those fraudulent and false counselors condemned to eternity in the eighth circle of Dante's Inferno, current White House spokesperson Kellyanne Conway, gets into another verbal scuffle with Matt Lauer. Lauer uncharacteristically calls Conway on her lies, which do not faze her in the least. Trump's nomination for Labor Secretary, Andrew Puzder, has now withdrawn his name from consideration for Labor Secretary. Puzder is the current CEO of Carl's Jr. and Hardee's fast food restaurants, whose employees are paid so poorly they skip meals. He vehemently opposes increasing things like the minimum wage, providing health insurance to employees, providing overtime pay, or providing any form of worker protections. He is strongly in favor of replacing human workers with automation. A search is underway by Trump to now find someone worse for the role. White House press gibbon Sean Spicer is having a bad time lately, according to reports from CNN. In between foaming at the mouth and lying bald-faced to reporters, he's having a tough time with others in the administration picking on him. Kellyanne isn't kind as she lobs doubts here and there. Bannon likely spits on him in passing, and there's this mean guy who sits in the office with curved walls that abuses him on a daily basis. Former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski is now bragging that he still has access to Trump's Twitter account. He is using the access as a selling point in making pitches to clients of his new lobbying firm. The Trump defense secretary, best known for his role as the nuke them now screaming general from the movie Mars Attacks, Jim Mattis, tells NATO allies that they need to dramatically increase their defense spending. And that was your Trump damage report. Remain vigilant.